Our United Way staff and volunteers have worked very, very hard to make this evening's telethon possible. I want to thank Jen Macedo, our Chief Philanthropy Officer, Julie Mastropasqua, our Graphics and Web Design Manager, Ryan McCabe, our Graphic Designer and Social Media Specialist, Christina Brennan, our Corporate Engagement Specialist, Jessica Friswell, Community Impact Manager, Bill Walters, our Campaign Manager, Barbara LaGrenade, Director of Volunteerism and Marlboro Community Cupboard Office Manager. And I want to thank Joe Mina, our Director of the Pearl Street Cupboard and Café. He's also our Product Philanthropy Director and Transportation Director. And Sandy Baldy, Administrative Assistant, for doing a great job. We're very grateful for all their hard work. I'm here with Joe Mina, the director of the Pearl Street Cupboard and Café. It's the reason we're here tonight is to support the work that Joe and his team do at the Pearl Street Cupboard and Café. And I want to welcome Joe to our set tonight, and thank you for being here, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
Joe, you've been with the United Way Pearl Street Cupboard and Café since its inception. Back 4 years ago when we started this, did you ever think that we'd have 4,000 families registered in our database at this point?
To be honest, we weren't sure it was going to happen. We knew in the pantry we had 65 orders already pre-packed. We knew in the cafe we could accommodate 150 individuals at once. And the funny part of it is, the first day for the cafe, we had 8 people show up, and the next time we opened up, we had over 200. For the pantry itself, we had about 9 people outside the door waiting for us, and the following day it went to 50, then 100, and so on, up to the 4,000.
Tell me, how do you and your staff and volunteers feel about the good work that you do every day? You know, helping people move from dependence to independence, feeding them when they're hungry. It's very important work, and it's got to be very, very rewarding, but it must also be difficult to watch sometimes. How do you folks view the great work that you do at Pearl Street?
Well, my staff and I, we do our very best to help everybody that we can get enough food in for what we need. But I think the major emphasis should be on the volunteers that come in every day. They work tirelessly every day. Whatever efforts we try to accomplish, they're there right next to me. They are the lifeblood of our program. And also the generosity of our community is one of the ways that we are able to make this happen. It's the community in general that has an overwhelming response when we opened and are always there. And I know when I reach out to them, no matter what we do, they're there to support us 100%, and there's not a question on the generosity of the community or the willingness of the Metro West populations to help.
Well, that's good. You know, all you have to do is go over to Pearl Street and you see the pallets and pallets of food that are, you know, stockpiled on the sides of the walls. We built that facility, as you know, Joe, with walk-in refrigeration and with shelving and with transportation capacity, because all the people we talked to told us that the donors, the people that gave the food, they really wanted to be able to give us large quantities, but not too many food pantries can handle the quantity and handle transporting them when the donor calls. Tell us a little bit about how that's made the Pearl Street Cupboard and Café the premier place for companies to donate their food stuff.
Well, there's the ongoing joke that Joe does not say no to many things when the donors reach out, and that's the truth. I think we, you know, whatever the calls come for what kind of food, we're going to go get it. We travel outside our catchment sometimes because the amount of food that people wish to donate is too much for other places. We average just twice a week bringing in 20,000 plus pounds of food, and we have the trucks and the staff, thankfully, that can do it.
Joe, if you had one wish for the people who come in, the clients and guests of the Pearl Street Cupboard and Café, if you had one wish for them in the new year, what would that be?
To have a happy holiday season, to help them move towards self-sufficiency and let them know they're not alone, and we're here to meet any challenges they may come into contact with.
Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure having you here, and we really appreciate the hard work that you and your team do every day. And you're right, the volunteers are the lifeblood of the organization, and I want to thank you for your leadership and the hard work that you put in as well. And keep up the good work.